Good afternoon and welcome to the Mercantile. My name is Terry and this is my space. As you can see, I have a mix of things, and I felt that it was important to point out some things as I'm going along as to why I do what I do. First off, my largest items are going to be furniture, and they're not big pieces of furniture. I try to focus on things that are small, that are functional, that people have a need for. My prices are very reasonable, and I hope that I can keep things moving and keep people interested in my changing inventory. From there, I also have an interest in art pottery. I'm a collector of American art pottery. I have the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I bring in pieces that I think are appropriate for this type of marketing. And I do have some contemporary as well as some vintage pottery. I do have some private collection pieces that aren't going to be sold, that are for my pleasure and enjoyment only. Newcomb College and some Rookwood pieces, to elaborate on those. A big thing that is popular right now is decorative items, and decorative items is very ambiguous. It can be anything anybody uses to decorate with, and an example of that, these are little froggy candle holders that are made out of brass, and they're a cute little item. There are a lot of frog collectors I know that are still interested in frogs, and this is relatively inexpensive. It's a verdigris brass. It's $28, and that's an example of a decorative item. Now this basket up here is impersonating an American Indian basket, and my greatest collection is in American Indian items. I collect baskets, pottery, rugs, and some beadwork, and this is actually a reproduction, not necessarily intended to deceive, but a basket like that was an Apache or a Pima basket would cost probably $500 to $2,000, and this one was made in Pakistan, copying the craftsmanship and style of the Native American Indians. This basket is $29. So that is an example of another decorative piece. It's not made to deceive. It was made to use as an affordable decoration. When we're talking about art, we have decorative art and then there's fine art. And I'm actually an artist. I'm an oil painter, and I paint in the California Impressionism style. It's considered to be a fine art. However, am I a fine artist? You tell me. I enjoy painting, and I was told I was gifted, and I sold my first painting 3 months after I began painting. And what was that painting of? My favorite site is the Vasquez Rocks in Agua Dulce, and it's my best seller. It's the one that I enjoy painting the most, and I also do a lot of other landscape scenes in the Santa Clarita, Antelope Valley area, into the Tehachapis, out into Ventura County, out on 126 is another place where I paint eucalyptus. It's my pleasure to paint, and it's also my pleasure when somebody enjoys my artwork. It's like a pat on the back for the artist, simply because somebody appreciates what you have done and they want to be the caretaker of a painting. There's nothing better than that. Can I make a living doing it? No, not even close. My favorite size is 8 by 10, and I will vary from size to size. I'll do smaller and I'll occasionally do something larger, but when I'm painting, 8 by 10 is a very convenient size. If I'm painting out in the fresh air, it's small, it's compact, I can carry it, and I don't have to worry too much about the wind blowing over the canvas. It's not like this. It's not that tall. It's like this, and it's very compact. It doesn't take as long to paint an 8 by 10 as it would take me to paint a 30 by 40. And that also means that the cost is less, because my cost of materials and framing are going to be a lot less, as well as the cost to the consumer. I can do an 8 by 10 oil painting in sections and times where I'll have maybe 5 or 6 hours maximum involved in this. It might take me a week to complete that 5 or 6 hours, but it'll be done to my satisfaction, and I'm not racing to paint a big painting. I'm not having issues transporting a large painting. Where are you going to put a wet canvas if you're painting out in the fresh air that's large? You're going to have a rack made in a truck or something. But anyways, I do enjoy my artwork, and I do change out my paintings in here occasionally, and I'm in different venues where I participate in art shows and events. I'm a member of the California Art Club, Santa Clarita Artists Association. There's a group in Acton and Agua Dulce that participates in having an annual show. I join in that, and I'm also involved with Bear Valley Springs Cultural Arts Association, and they have a springtime show, and it's pretty well received. All these events are. Looking at the other side here, I also have an interest in coins, and I personally started collecting coins as a little boy, and then I kind of let it fall by the wayside, and in the last few years I've had an interest coming back into silver dollars, and the Morgan dollars seem to be what captures my interest at this point. So I'm always featuring silver dollars in my space as well. Shifting over to the other side of my interest, there's a brochure here. It says, "Do you need an appraisal?" And I'm a certified accredited appraiser in Appraisers National Association. And going back to my history that leads up to that, when I was a teenager, I started collecting things. We had a nearby swap meet, and I could pick out items that other people had interested in, and they would buy these items from me, and I didn't have to have a high school job. I didn't have to pump gas. In those days, that's what kids did. I ended up becoming a private dealer and a collector and a trader, and then I got into the real world and became a dealer. And I like the mall concept. I've participated in various antique malls. It gives you the coverage that you need without having to be there is an important thing. And the staff are generally incredible. They're very knowledgeable, and the dealer is a phone call away oftentimes. I ended up not only taking a ride on the train, but I had to go to the station, and I ended up being a mall owner, and I eventually sold that to focus on art and also antique appreciation studies, and subsequent to that I became an antique appraiser. I did an apprenticeship, and then I got my accreditation and then my certification, and I get to pick and choose my assignments, and I enjoy helping other people learn about what they have and the importance that some of these things have. I wanted to thank you for your time today, and come up and see us. The Mercantile awaits you.